Hey guys, it's Coily Diaries back with another video. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. And to my returning subscribers, you know I love you guys. In this video, I'm just gonna be answering 20 questions that I got from you guys. I did a poll a few weeks ago and asked you guys, ask me anything. And you guys asked away, so I have got 20 questions in total to tackle in this video. So I'm gonna go straight into it because I don't want to waste your time. So I'm gonna be looking down to read the questions just in case you're wondering, because you know they're not up here. Anyway, question number one is about gray hair, and it reads, do you have any best, laugh out loud, natural gray hair remedies? So I'm assuming the question is actually asking, do you have any recommendations to darken your gray hair? I'm assuming. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can always comment below if you know I get your question wrong. And for you, Gloria is a friend of mine. Hey Gloria. I've got a few options. The first one is henna. This one is a common one. Henna has been used forever to moisturize and hydrate the hair and even to darken the hair. The other natural ingredient that I'll suggest is indigo, coffee, amla, and fenugreek as well. So there's a quick recipe that you can do with indigo, coffee, and henna. I'll put a link below to the particular video that I think is amazing and how the person's hair turned out. Try it out and see if it works for you. Which groups have you joined as a new mom? Okay, for those that don't know, I have got a just over 1-year-old baby boy, and yeah, it's been a crazy ride. Okay, I'm a busy mom, and of course, I'm gonna share with you guys what groups I have joined. The first one is called it's about breastfeeding. I'll put a photo on it. It's an amazing group. It offers support to mothers that are breastfeeding. I promise you, nothing can prepare you enough for breastfeeding. It's something else. It's rewarding, it's lovely, you know, it's a bonding opportunity for you and your baby, but it's not that easy, okay? At least not for me, it wasn't that easy. So that group has really been helpful. There's another one that's called Holistic Health and Wellness. And I like that one because it just offers natural remedies, natural suggestions to just help you out when it comes to just dealing with everyday illnesses. And some of them actually have to do with babies. So that's a good one. The next one is called Mums Advice Australia. This one is specific to Australia where I am. And it's just moms giving each other advice in a free, safe space. This one is my favorite, and it's called Surviving Motherhood. Guys, everything mama, like you can post there and there'll be people to help you, experienced moms, new moms, whoever. It's really, really helpful. In fact, they post, I think, multiple times a day. People are posting and asking questions and interacting. You get so many ideas and knowledge. So if you're a new mom, check those out. Of course, I've joined some WhatsApp groups as well, just with moms around my area, you know, share notes specific to the area where I am. So yeah, those are the groups that I have joined. Do you ever think of doing a silk press on your hair? Oh, testing the waters. The short answer is yes. The short answer, girl, is yes. It seems like a cool thing to experience at least once in your life. Will I ever get one? That's a different story, guys, because I don't know if I've told you guys, but I have discovered that heat for me is a no. Direct heat that is, because each time I do a blowout, each time I do anything direct heat, split ends, I end up cutting my hair, like when I don't even want to cut my hair. So yeah, I'll probably never do it. I mean, I don't want to say never, but it's one of those things where, like, I don't know what will push me to have a silk press after growing my hair this long and risk hair damage and all that. Heat damage, no, I don't know. But I don't think about it. I think, you know, it's satisfying to see someone's hair go silky like that. I mean, I think it's cool, but I love my natural hair. I really love my kinky hair, and I'm enjoying the journey so far. I love what I'm learning so far. I've come a long way growing my hair, so I want to keep it, and I want to keep it as healthy as I can, which includes maybe not doing a silk press. So that's that, girl. Is 100% of glycerin the same as vegetable glycerin? This one I'm not particularly sure, but this one I'm not sure what the question is really. Are you asking about the brand or the percentage of glycerin? I mean, it's not very clear, but I will attempt to answer that one. So glycerin can be derived from many sources. For example, animals and vegetables, you know, even synthetic glycerin is something that actually exists. I use glycerin to moisturize my hair, and the one that I use on my hair is vegetable glycerin. When you buy glycerin on its own, it's 100% glycerin. So if you're gonna use it in a spritz, I would encourage you to dilute it with water, or I don't know, aloe vera juice or something, some kind of water, liquid, to, I guess, dilute it and reduce the strength, because glycerin is a humectant and it's the strongest humectant out there. So you don't want to overdo it. You want to really balance it out and make sure that you're not causing harm to your hair. So I personally will take maybe, you know, if I'm trying to make 100 mils of my spritz mixture, I'll make sure that in that 100%, 25% is glycerin, and that's how I use it on my hair. The brand of glycerin doesn't really matter. Of course, if you get vegetable glycerin, if you get organic glycerin, that will be the best, but even synthetic glycerin will do the job. This one is a two-part question, and it's about kids hair care. The question reads, kids with sensitive scalp, how do you deal with that? Question number one. I have two of those, and wash day is always a nightmare, Bridget, sorry. Would you also, this is question number two, would you also be keen to share a simple functional hair routine for kids? Okay, so I'm gonna take a bit of time for this. I personally think that this needs a video of its own because it's a very dense question. You know, when we're dealing with kids, obviously we want to be very cautious. We want to take our time. We want to make sure that, you know, we're doing the right things for the kids, because at the end of the day, what's the point? What's the point of the natural hair movement if the kids don't learn to embrace their hair? When I'm a grandmother, I want the kids to just be all over their hair because we have done the work. So I really appreciate you for taking time to learn and look into the care of your girls. It's super important. If I had girls, obviously, you know, then I'll do a video with a demo, etc. But I've got a boy. Not that a girl is a bad thing, but you know what I mean? It just means I don't need to deal with a lot of hair at the moment. The first part of the question, which is talking about a sensitive scalp, I've got a few tips for you. So let me just say straight off the bat, it's hard. Whatever you do with kids, it's tricky. You know, they're young, there's a lot they don't understand. Yeah, it's hard to work around them. You know, sometimes it's not even painful, but they have maybe just an association to it, or they just hate someone in their hair, so it's very difficult. So everything I'll be sharing in here, obviously you can tailor fit it to you and see how you can work around it to suit your kids or your babies. The first thing is make sure you communicate with your kids. Don't take them by surprise, okay? Involve the child, get them maybe to choose the accessories that they want, get them to choose the style that they want, maybe the products as well. Maybe you can section out a small little piece of hair and get them to work on that so they can do the washing bit, the conditioning, the detangling, etc., just so they're involved and they can get excited. And make sure you have you're encouraging a positive association with hair. Make sure it's relaxed, you know. Make sure you don't do it when it's busy or you're rushing. Like, just skip, girl. If you don't have the time, don't do it. You can't rush kids' hair. So make sure it's a time when, you know, you're both relaxed. There's no interruptions with regards to you needing to go elsewhere or rush through things. That way they can have a positive association with the care of their hair. The next thing, obviously, use distractions. Get them to play with their favorite toy, read a book, and if you allow them to use an iPad or something like that, they can use that. Permanent parts. I've done a video on permanent parts, but if I had a baby girl, I'll put her hair in permanent parts and deal with them like that. because parting the hair does actually cause, you know, a fair bit of discomfort, especially, you know, if it's a kid with a tender head. Even if you're being super gentle, you know, they might not like the tagging of the hair, you know, on the scalp. So permanent parts is a good way to always, you know, revert to on wash day, detangling and styling. That way you're not parting the hair at all. Part them once and that's it. Use a lot of slip, use a conditioner with a lot of slip. In fact, use all products with slip and try to detangle once. Instead of detangling at pre-poo, shampoo, deep conditioner, leave-in, pick one and detangle once. I'll probably detangle after a deep conditioner depending on how tangled my kids' hair is. But another way to do it, especially if you're finger detangling, and the hair is already not as tangled, I'll probably just finger detangle at the leave-in conditioner stage just before you style the hair. Of course, make sure to be gentle and reduce the tension at the scalp by holding the hair, you know, taut as you're combing it, to make sure that you're not, like, all the combing tension is not sitting on the scalp. So you can sort of make your hands imitate the scalp, so to speak. Another thing is to encourage independence, you know, get them really involved so that, you know, as soon as they can, they are able to look after their own hair. Because if they start looking after their own hair, they'll get a certain satisfaction from it. They'll start to enjoy it and they can handle it the way they like or the way they feel comfortable too. So I mentioned about preventing tangles. So a good tip to, like, if I had a kid, I'll put them in braids. I wouldn't be doing too much else other than braids, because braids keep moisture in, keep the hair taut, keep the hair stretched, keep the hair tangle free. Shed hairs can't, you know, run around and cause shrink. Like, braids are it. And that way they can wear their style for however long you want to keep it. And when it comes to wash day, the hair is not as tangled, if anything at all. It probably won't be tangled at all because you've kept it in that position the whole time. So I would do braids on my kids. I would also wash in braids and maybe do a scalp massage with essential oils. And I say essential oils because I wouldn't be washing my kids' hair weekly. Yeah, it would just be too hectic, you know. So essential oils actually help keep the scalp clean, you know, prevent bacteria buildup and all that. But obviously check with the doctor, make sure it's okay to use particular essential oils, and make sure the strains are specific and appropriate for the child. I've done a video on using essential oils for adults. I'll put a link above, how I keep my scalp clean. If they can't use essential oils, another way is to sort of clean their scalp of sebum, because sebum is the reason you get all that itch and inflammation and all that. So if you can find a way to sort of remove the sebum from the scalp and onto the hair, their scalp will remain clean, fresh and aerated, if you know what I mean. My last tip for kids is to use Rev Air. If all else fails and you actually must use heat, I would recommend a Rev Air. It is pricey, of course, but it's probably the best thing out there for kids. It reduces the tension. You don't have to be combing the hair while blowing it. It reduces heat damage. Obviously, you'll be using it for a bit, maybe most of their childhood even. So a Rev Air is one to invest in. If you don't want the Rev Air, you can't afford the Rev Air and you want to blow their hair out, then maybe use the tension method where you're not brushing the hair as you blow it and you're just holding the hair taut and passing the blower through. That's a lot. I've said a lot. Quickly, a sample kids routine. Like I said, I wouldn't wash their hair every week, maybe 2 to 4 weeks. If it was my kid, I would try to push it to 4 weeks. And I would do that by, keeping that scalp clean manually. People think it's a crazy thing to do, but we did it as kids. And, like history shows that women, even women of other races, actually clean their scalp manually. It's quite effective. Yeah, try it with your kids. You don't have to use anything aggressive. You can use a soft, gentle ball bristle brush, and that will do the job to keep the scalp clean, take the sebum to the hair, and actually, hydrate and moisturize and protect and coat the hair. Sebum is quite amazing for the hair. So on wash day, I would wash their hair in braids, like I said, deep condition in braids, unravel each section at a time then, and start detangling and putting products like leave-ins and oils to seal. And I'll use that opportunity to finger detangle, remove shed hairs, what have you. If you're using heat, this is the perfect opportunity to go ahead and rev air or blow dry their hair. However, if not, I would then braid their hair back into the same braid after moisturizing. So you're pretty much eliminating that tedious detangling session. Obviously, if your hair is your kid's hair is very tangled right now, you will need to do a nice detangle. And then, each wash day after that, if you do your permanent parts, put them in braids and deal with them in braids, then you don't need to do all that hard work. You just need to do a section at a time, detangle at the moisturizing phase, seal the hair, rebraid onto the next. Done, done, done. Next question I had was, how did you achieve this style? And the style being referred to will be on the screen. I have done a video on this style. I'll put a link above to it. Have you settled in Australia? If so, kindly describe your process, what you did well and what you wish you could have done better. Have I settled in Australia? The answer is yes. The next question is talking about the settling process. So I came here as a student, came here to study medicine, didn't quite realize how expensive Australia is, or how difficult it is to get into medicine as an international student. So I couldn't. My sister ended up going to Russia, studied medicine there, but I couldn't. So I decided, what's the next best thing that I can do within the health or the healthcare sector, and I chose nursing. Once I did my nursing degree, I got my graduate visa and onto my permanent residency. What I can say about the process, it can be very long, tedious, expensive. It's not for the faint-hearted. Let me just say, Australia is one of those countries that's super hard to get to or to come to. So yeah, that's that. So what I did well versus what I could do better, I think patience. I was quite patient with the process. I took my time learning, and that's another thing. I did a lot of research when I was here. What's this process? What do I need to get here? What exam do I need to sit? Your IELTS, English testing, exam that you need to do as an international student, especially if English is not your first language. Networking and finding people that are in similar situations, then you can get more knowledge, more know-how, tips and tricks, how to go about things. Also, I believe that nursing is one of the best things that you can do if you're trying to migrate to any country. Nurses are needed everywhere, and I know it's one of those jobs that a lot of people frown upon. I want to be a lawyer or a doctor, or I want to be an accountant, or an executive. Okay. Nursing has not been one of those jobs or those careers that people go, I dream of being a nurse. No. However, you can really, really achieve great things. You can really go up the ladder. You can get into management. You can go do like a postgrad and run your own business. I did diabetes education as a postgrad. So if I want to, I can actually work for myself. Another thing that I think I did well was just to be humble enough to do whatever work I could get. Okay, for anyone that's in diaspora, unless you come from money, a lot of us just come from average families. So when you come here, you have to work. You have to do your school and work, whether for rent, part of the fees, upkeep, transport, food, you have to work. I know a lot of people who say, that's beneath me. I'm not gonna do aged care. I'm not gonna do disability. I'm not gonna do cleaning. I'm not gonna do this kind of job. But humility goes a long way to help you achieve your goals. There's a saying that actually says, you do what you have to do now in order for you to do what you want to do later. Okay. And I credit all this wisdom, and my mom instilled a lot in me to hustle and to go for my dreams and to work hard, because no point raising your kid in comfort, right? Why do you want to raise kids in comfort when the world is not a comfortable place? The world is rough. I mean, you need to teach your children how to live in the real world. And I mean, even if you have money, a day will come when you won't be able to have that money. So what happens then? So be humble. If this is something you're trying to do, just be down to earth and, do what you need to do. And honestly, aged care, disability, even if people look down upon it, it's one of the most rewarding things that you can do. The Bible talks about looking after the aged, and there's a blessing in that. So, you know, do what you may with this information, but that's that. Things that I feel like I didn't do well enough. Once I discovered I couldn't do medicine, I freaked out a bit and I hopped a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do law, maybe I'll do business and this and that. So that wasted a bit of time for me and money as well. And IELTS, I had to do the IELTS test quite a few times. Not because I can't speak English very well, but for some reason, I feel like the system is rigged, guys. Honestly, you could pass, and passing is not just like getting, for example, 7 out of 10. They want you to get 9 out of 10 in all segments. And while you could get that, 8.5, I'm not completely sure, maybe it's 8.5 out of 10. And even if you can get that in 3 sections, like if you get like an 8 in the other, then you don't qualify. You try and do it again, and then you get the right scores in different ones, and then not quite make it in another section. So I had to rewrite IELTS a few times, and I think on my 5th or 7th time, I can't remember, I did a few times, but yeah, the last time I did it, I was like, no, I'm gonna appeal and I'm gonna let these guys know I've done my education from year 1 through university, right? In English, I can speak English. I've written essays and whatever, like assignments in English. So I can speak English. And you can see the evidence here that I'm able to get the right scores, you know, in all these bands. But, you know, if I come to rewrite, sometimes things just get jumbled up. And girl, they granted it to me. They granted me my results after I appealed. So I always say to my husband, I walk with God. So not everyone can say that. Not everyone can say they can achieve that. Or if I'm not saying this is something that's common that you can do to appeal your test. I mean, you are able to, that opportunity is there for you, but it's not always guaranteed that they'll give you the results that you want. So I guess put it to God. That's all I can say. If you're determined, you're doing the work, He'll do the rest. Okay, enough of that. How old is my hair? My hair is going to be 6 years in September. So the 30th of September 2017, I big chopped 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So September the 30th, I will be 6 years old. My hair will be 6 years old. Hello, is it possible to get thicker and fuller hair when your hair is not thick and not exactly thin either? So medium density. Girl, I hear you. Don't we all love a thick head of hair? Yeah, thickness, long lashes, beautiful shiny hair is a symbol of health. For many years, that's been put as a symbol of health, but thickness is really relative, right? Some people have super thick hair and others have thin hair. It doesn't mean anyone's better or any hair is unhealthy. Thin hair does have its advantages as well. The first thing I want to say is just to be realistic, okay? Thickness, hair density, hair color, texture, curl pattern, all that is determined by your parents, the genes, okay? Genes play a huge part on how our hair is, or the makeup of our hair. So there's only so much you can do, okay? However, in saying that, you have to look at, you know, are you doing everything to maximize the health of your hair? Is your hair at its optimum, right? Personally, I haven't seen a lot of thickening ingredients. People try to take advantage of the fact that people, or, you know, Black women, people with thin hair, are looking for ways to thicken their hair, lengthen their hair, all that. And they'll give you all sorts of remedies, etc., to thicken the hair, grow the hair, do this to the hair. And while there is truth in that, right? I believe in herbs. I believe in the power of herbs. What those things do is really optimize the health of your hair. So, for example, biotin or protein or things like that, they just give your hair, it's like nutrition for the hair. That way your hair is at its optimum. Will it thicken it? I mean, if your hair was starved, if your hair was, you know, malnourished or not doing as well, then yeah, you might get some thickening. But if your hair was already doing great, if it was already at its optimum, then you might not see a lot of changes. So, I mean, it's relative. Here are some tips for you. Stop whatever is thinning your hair. If you're doing tight styles, if you're keeping your hair dry, if you're breaking your hair, we need to start there. Stop that. Before you implement anything, make sure you're stopping to do those habits that keep your hair thin or not at its optimum. The next thing is to drink water. Make sure you're eating a healthy diet, exercise. All those things actually make a difference. By the time the hair leaves the scalp, it's very limited what you can do with it. So before it leaves the scalp, do what you can so that when it comes out, it's at its best, which means the internal deposits will do more good for you than whatever you do once the hair is out. Make sure your iron levels are doing great. Your vitamin B, you're eating your nuts, your healthy fats, avocado, salads, protein, healthy carbs. All those things actually come together to keep you as an individual healthy. And if you as an individual are healthy, your hair is going to be healthy. If your body is having to scramble for nutrients, okay, it's going to cater to the body and the hair is going to suffer. That's why I say health, like internal health, is the most important thing. Having said all this, I know you want some tips and some actual ingredients, products that you can use. First one is biotin. Biotin is known to help grow longer, thicker hair, strengthen the hair. So that's one to try. Another one is pumpkin seed oil. There's actually research on this and it does help to grow your hair healthier. The Mayel mint oil has taken the internet by storm. I personally haven't used it, but a lot of people attest to its results and its benefits. So it's worth trying. Unless there's an issue there, try it out. Of course, Mayel has had a few dramas in the past, even in the recent past. So, take it with a grain of salt. If you can avoid it, I guess you should. But if this particular product has got no bad reviews and people are reporting great results, then it's worth trying. Thyme oil, rosemary oil, and lavender oil are also great for hair growth and hair thickening. And lastly, I just want to touch on your regimen. Make sure you're following a healthy routine. You're cleansing, conditioning, deep conditioning, moisturizing, protective styling. You're tackling dryness, right? You're doing what you need to do to make sure your hair is maintained. Make sure your hair is not breaking. Make sure you're retaining your hair by making sure that your ends are healthy. Okay, we don't want hair that breaks. That's just going to be disastrous, right? And another thing that's probably not spoken about a lot that can cause your hair to thin out is hard water. So make sure you check that your water is soft and good enough to have on, to use for cleansing. You can buy testing strips from Amazon quite affordably. Is that a word? They're affordable anyway on Amazon. I'll put a link below to one that I would recommend. I'll do a separate video, guys, on hard water and all the tips and tricks around that. But yeah, if hard water is an issue, you really need to look into that. I currently have a TWA and I'm so tired of dealing with my hair every day. Girl, I get you. Please recommend a few hair-friendly protective styles with extensions. Okay, very specific. Which styles are gentler? Thank you. Okay, the first thing that I don't know is how small or how short or how tiny your TWA is. Can it be braided? Can it be twisted? Can it get into cornrows? I don't have that information. However, I would recommend crochet. Okay, if you can put your TWA in crochet, that'll be great. There's pretty much no tension on the hair or the scalp. It's relatively simple to put on the hair. It's gentle. It won't tag at your hair or cause any dramas. It can cause dryness depending on the hair type or the type of hair that you use, as in the hair extensions. So yeah, that's probably one to consider. Wigs are another one. Now, wigs are not for everyone. So some people don't wear human hair wigs. I'm sort of leaning towards that a lot, to stop wearing human hair wigs. So if you're someone like that, you can try synthetic wigs, head wraps, wigs, crochet. I'm leaning very much on crochet. Like, just do crochet. If you can get your hair in cornrows, just do crochet. But girl, TWA is the simplest place to be. Like, just leave your hair. Rock it, because you won't be having that style for a while, and take all the photos you can. Enjoy that phase. It does pass by quite quickly. So during my TWA phase, I just let my hair be, honestly, for the most part. I did not wear too many extensions, if at all, and I just rocked it as it was. Maybe twist outs, maybe twists. Otherwise, I just left it alone. So, I mean, I get it. Sometimes you want to break, sometimes you want to change your look, but yeah, there's not many options when it's a TWA, because you don't have a lot of hair to take on the weight of extensions. So yeah, I wouldn't be playing with heavy extensions, braids, twists, maybe not. Okay, so this next question is a lot of questions in one. It's probably 4 or 5 questions, so I'll read it out and then I'll go through them one by one. So it says, hi, I recently found your channel, new subscriber here. Thank you. I don't take my subscribers lightly, so thank you for subscribing. Okay, it means a lot. It's a commitment. So what climate do you live in? I see you often recommend glycerin, but I've found that glycerin makes my hair super frizzy and prone to revert in less than a minute. Oh, I get it. When I do twist outs, as I live in a super humid environment in the Caribbean. Ooh, hello, Caribbean island. Wow, always wanted to travel there. Also, what will you classify your hair type as? Type 4, B, or C? Finally, what's your current length in inches? Girl, you want me to take out my hair? Oh my goodness. And how long have you been natural? Okay. Thank you very much. That is a packed question. I've already answered the one about how long I've been natural for, so 6 years in September. Now, what climate do I live in? I live in Alice Springs, which is in the desert of Australia. If you want to wear your hair out while using glycerin, I would just use glycerin-based store-bought products, okay? So those will not get your hair shrinking as much as a spritz that you sort of make at home yourself, a DIY, because you know the ingredients in the store-bought products will be balanced. There'll be emollients in there, there'll be, you know, occlusives in there to kind of help balance that the effect of glycerin, if you know what I mean. I personally use glycerin in twists. My hair is in twists at the moment for the whole year. It's most of the year actually, it's been in twists, so I don't have this problem. I do have my edges that can't lay flat. I don't know if you can kind of tell. I had to do a lot of work to get them to this stage because of the glycerin content, so I get it about that frizz. Like, no gel works on my hair at all, because glycerin just, you know, keeps the hair really, really hydrated and humid and soft and all that. So it's good, but not really great for styling. Another option is to still use your glycerin spritz, right? But then just reduce the ratios. So if you were putting 1 teaspoon of glycerin, then maybe put half a teaspoon or quarter teaspoon, just a little bit. That way you still have some glycerin, but it's not as much that it actually reverts or affects your hair that much. What hair type I am a 4B, 4C natural. If you want to be specific, I do have some type A, I believe, at the back, at my nape, but predominantly I think I'm a type B. I think, okay. I'm never sure about these things, but I'm a kinky natural. Kinky, coily, yeah, that's me. My length in inches. How can one restore her edges that are damaged badly? Losing your edges can actually be more traumatizing than most people realize. I lost my edges postpartum after the birth of my son, and it was dramatic. I was just like, who's this? I can't wear no styles. I look 10 years older. Like, I get it. You can actually work on your self-esteem. The first thing you need to do is find out why you've lost your edges. This needs to sink in for a lot of people. There's no magic product to bring your edges back. You need to stop what is damaging your edges. Tight styles is usually a culprit. Cotton, dryness, breakage. Traction alopecia is a possibility just from the tension, tight ponytails, you know, fishtail, things like that. And it's years and years and years of repeated damaging practices. So you need to find out what is damaging them and stop before you even think about implementing anything. Now, this is the hard truth, but you actually need to consider that your edges may actually have permanent damage, which means the follicle has been traumatized and affected enough to actually stop producing hair. That's a possibility. If you traumatize your follicles over and over again, it's possible that you have permanent damage. I've spoken about thickening natural hair with the thickening question. Do all that. All the tips that I shared there apply for the edges as well. However, I will just make it super specific with the edges. Massage, find a hair growth oil. I spoke about some options for herbs and oils that you can use in the thickness question that I answered. And just massage your edges. So anywhere from once, I mean, some people do it daily, but I would say 3 times a week is a sweet spot. 3-4 times a week should be fine, because you get that stimulation, you get as many nutrients as you can to your edges to give them a fighting chance to regrow. I have done videos specific to edge growth, so I'll put links in the description or in the cards above. If it's really bad and you find that just massaging your edges, you know, at home with just hair growth store-bought oils is not working, consider a derma roller. A derma roller is one that I have used before and I have shared on this channel. I'll put a link to that video as well. Another one is minoxidil. You can usually buy this over the counter. I have recommended it to a few friends who've used it, but then you can see hair start to grow in funny places like your chin, you know, cheeks. You know, it just gets hair growing in awkward places, not all the time and not lots of hair. You might get one hair here or whatever, or no hair at all. Like, not everybody gets that, but it just increases, like, it's medication, so it can help. You do get your edges growing back. However, for most people, they kind of need to stay on the minoxidil in order to see changes. So, I mean, I'll just see a trichologist or hair specialist wherever I am if I've got issues with my edges and wanting to grow them back, and they might have more suggestions for you to regrow your edges. The Shea Moisture Jamaican Black Castor Oil Leave-In Conditioner I have seen you using. Is it good for low porosity hair? No. I think I've got low porosity hair. I can't be too sure. The tests are not as reliable, but I think I'm a low porosity girl. But yeah, no, I have not found that leave-in conditioner to be super moisturizing or hydrating. Maybe it's strengthening, as the product says, strengthen, restore, right? So maybe it's strengthening because it was not moisturizing. Okay, take that with a grain of salt. Do what you may with that information, but for me personally, it's a no. Why natural hair? Woo. Okay. It's a passion of mine. It's liberating. It's empowering. It's inspiring. There is nothing that beats being able to present yourself to the world the way you are. Obviously, our hair is not particularly, accepted. We have not assimilated into society 100%, but we're definitely in a better place. And if I have a daughter, and her daughter, and her daughter's daughter, I hope they'll look back and say, you know, our foremothers, you know, tried. You know, they did what they had to do with what they had to make it a better place for us. I know that's deep. I could go on and on about this, but natural hair is my thing. I love natural hair. I love my hair. I want to empower women to wear their hair natural because there's something about it. There's something about it. Anyway, enough said. How are you, mama? Physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I wasn't expecting this one. I'm staying afloat. Let's just say that, okay? Being a mom is hard. Being a mom in diaspora is very hard. A lot of people will never understand it because they have never walked my shoes. They will never walk your shoes. No two moms can say they have the same experience because everyone has different challenges at the particular time that they're being a mother. I am in therapy. I believe in therapy. And my counselor said to me, being a mom is hard. And the first 24 months after birth are the most difficult. You're a new mom. You're clueless. Okay? You're the most insecure. There's a lot of changes, hormonal, physical, mental. It's a roller coaster. The last thing you want is people putting you down or not supporting. And support is not support unless it's what you need, what you've asked for, what you require. Support is not what I think is the right thing to do. Support is what the person needs, the person in need. What do they need? That's support. And I will be forever grateful to family, friends, just people around me that have supported, helped. It's just been, I mean, it's not perfect, but I do get strength from the people that love me, that support me and support this home. So I don't know which part of the question that is. Mentally maybe, and emotionally. Spiritually, I could be in a better place, but I am sticking close to God as much as I can. I'm extremely tired. I'm sleep deprived. It's difficult to do the things that I love. Anyone that knows me, I love to sing, I love to get involved, I love to write, I love to read. I mean, I'm not a book geek, but I like to read, like, you know, quotes or, you know, self-help, self-development books, encouragement books. I love documentaries. So I mean, I try to do those things, but it's just different when you have a child. Everything is just harder and there's no time. Whatever time I get away from my son, I just want to go to the toilet and not be disturbed, okay? Because he's walking now and he's everywhere, guys. He follows me everywhere. It's unreal. It's very rewarding though. Parenting is not something that anyone can prepare us for. I don't know how to prepare anyone to share anything with anyone. Obviously I can share tips, but everyone's experience will be different. So you can share tips, but nothing can ever prepare you for this. But it's probably the most rewarding thing I've ever experienced. So I am grateful for the journey, grateful for the opportunity to come out here, talk to you guys, share my life with you, share knowledge, share tips, inspire, creating a community. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting this channel. It means more than you think. I hope this video was enjoyable to you. Comment below if you enjoyed it. Comment if you have other questions. Let me know if you like this kind of video, and I'll try to do more. Obviously, I'm gonna need questions from you guys, so brace yourself. Bye.